practice of being you. And I think that the practice of presence and the opportunity that we have is something really grounded, and it's not something that's way out there because it's inside of us. And so when we access our breath and we begin to use awareness, so that's that inner looking, and then when we learn, this is a big piece in our practice, to separate ourselves a little bit from our thought in the way that our thoughts are not us, and we begin to take that step back. And I love to use the concept of breath. So breath is that space that we give to see or perceive something with that distance between, let's say, an emotion or a thought, because thoughts are energy. That just means we're alive, and they're neither good nor bad. Sometimes they do influence us in a negative way. And same with the emotions. Emotions are sort of like the barometer of what's going on, the temperature a bit of what's going on, or maybe like the season in our life. But everything changes. So when we show up to ourselves and we practice being grounded and anchored by our breath, we can begin to perceive thoughts more sort of like clouds that are not us, but we can see them. We're like, oh, hey, thought. So it becomes this practice of shifting our perspective, because essentially we become what our focus is, and we're practicing something every single day. So the practice of being you, the practice of being me, is learning to perceive the things that are affecting us, just like insomnia is a type of a symptom, and there's like, I'm just using that as an example, but we're practicing perceiving things through a different lens. And in the end, it's the practice of using this mind-body connection, this unity, to become free. What are we free from? Maybe impulses or trauma in the past that we're working through and healing. We're becoming free from notions, I'll even say lies, that affect us. Maybe we've been told something about, God or religion, or from a lens of judgment and punishment, and that's captivated us our entire life and kept us hostage from trying new things, or I'm going to say becoming who we are designed to be. So in this practice, coming back after this talk, I would like to just offer a really gentle bit of movement to identify places that might feel stuck in the body, that are linked to maybe stuckness in our thoughts and stressors and anxious thoughts, things that tighten us. So I'll bring you to, if you're not already there after our talk, onto our back. And I like to start in this position because it's such a great way to notice the ground. So a really short practice physically here after our long talk. So close your eyes, adjust your head so the back of your neck feels long. So that might mean you tuck your shoulder blades under you. And when I tuck my shoulder blades a little bit under, my chest area feels wide. So bring your elbows out from your body. So you can bring your hands to rest on your rib cage, or you can bring your arms on the floor, palms up. Or sometimes if I feel really like tight in my chest, I'll bring my elbows up in line with my shoulders, and I've got the backs of my hands against the floor. So whatever feels natural to you. Notice though the position of your shoulders. If the back of your neck feels like squish, move your arms in a way that you feel nice and long. So I like to almost picture that representation in our neck, where the mind and the body start to connect and flow together. Let's take a full breath in through the nose, whatever full means, and out through the nose. Scan the body for tightness as we've been kind of discussing, but look for it in the body. So tightness, jaw, face, shoulders, where you hold your thoughts in the body, which means we're holding the past in our body. Take another full breath, and then just choose to let that energy go. You could feel like your body softening, becoming a little heavier or lighter. We're going to practice regulating our breath. And begin to notice your breath, each cycle in the body and the ribs where you feel the lungs moving. You might start to notice with each breath that there's a little bit of room to lengthen the breath. I like to pause slightly at the bottom of my exhale. And then notice if your breath feels irregular. It's a really cool hack. I know that's not really a good word for this all the time, but even if we're feeling stressed, when we start to regulate our breath, this can help shift our nervous system to balance out. So gently find those comfortable full breaths through your nostrils. Everything's a message. Now let's take a little gauge of our neck and our shoulders. Rock your head side to side. Make sure it feels like your shoulders are away from the ear. We're going to turn our face to the right. You can always rearrange your arms. Draw your right ear towards the floor and pull your shoulder blades on your mat together and down. A little bit of stretch. When I do that, I can feel that in my pectoralis muscles, chest muscles. We'll turn our face the other way. So we're using the floor as an alignment tool for the back of our head in relationship with our shoulders. Okay, slowly bring your head back to center. And then if it's available for you, we're going to stretch. So just like you had the best sleep over. Okay, bring your toes together, reach your fingertips overhead. Inhale, collapse. So you exhale, reach for your knees and pull your knees to your chest. Gently rock your hips side to side. Now breathe into your back. There's literally portions of our lungs because of our posture that are like kind of stuck. So sometimes we're breathing in a way that where if we could see how our lungs are working, there's like part of our lungs are filling up and then there's parts of our lung that are stuck. Let's think about freeing and breathing into those spaces. That's why posture is so important. Pull your right knee towards you, left leg straight. Pull your shoulder blades together. Circle your right knee. Take a big breath in and out. Notice how your hips are feeling. So you can keep on doing this. If you want to, without twisting, so we're not going to twist yet, pull with your, I've got left hand on right knee, pull your right knee over to the left and reach your right arm to the side. So instead of twisting all the way, let's gently encourage our bum towards the ground as we just bring that knee over, just get it to the hip. Good. And then switch sides. Left leg straight, right leg straight. Left knee and right leg straight. Shoulders down, big breath in. Fill up your ribs. Where do you feel that breath? And then exhale, pull. If you want to circle, you're going to circle. Keep on doing that. Or begin to pass your left knee to your right hand and left arm reaches out to the side. A little twist and then maybe bring your hip back towards the ground. Take one more breath. Really good. And then bring your knees back to your chest. Let's bring our feet to the floor and turn over onto our hands and knees. Cat-cow. So step your shoulders over your wrists, hips over knees. And then let's find our table first. So it's common that the head drops below the spine. So a really great postural piece of awareness is to notice, even if you're standing, if the back of your head is in front of your spine. We're going to practice no matter what position we're in, well, most of them, back of head in line. So now let's drop our belly down and begin to widen the chest. Lift your chin, pull your shoulder blades back. Take a big breath in when you do this. And then round as you breathe out. Two more like that. Inhale. Wide chest, long neck. Exhale, round. Rooting your hands. Inhale, open. And exhale, round. Come back to your tabletop position. Depending on your knees, we're going to either just sway our hips side to side or circle. Hips to heel, circle other heel back up. Circle the other way. Big circles with your tailbone. Let's do one more. more each side. Keep those breaths full. Good. Come back to center, downward facing. Root your hands first. So now we're tucking our toes under. Try to keep the back of your head right to your hips aligned. So we're just sending our tailbone to the ceiling and chest towards our knees. Now, if it feels like your back is rounding with your legs straight, so like my back is round right now, instead, let's lift our heels, bend our knees, and pull our bum up. Note to keep your belly suspenders nice and tight. Sway your hips if that feels good. So suggestions and postures are really general. But from here, just move in a way that feels, sometimes I'll feel one side feels tighter than the other. Let's take a breath in and out. So we're going to move back to like a table. So shift forward. So you're in a plank and you can just put your knees right down on your mat. So uncurl your toes, toes point. Now my head is dropped, so instead I'm lifting my head, look ahead to your mat, and then begin to pull your body forward, bend your elbows all the way to your belly. So once you're on your belly, lift your chest, pull your shoulder blades back, squeeze your legs and your bum, hover your chest. You can stay with your hands close to the floor, palms on the floor, reach your fingertips back. If it's available to you, if you're nice and warm and you have the range, clasp your fingers over your tailbone, lift your chest, and pull your knuckles back. Option to lift your feet off the floor. Take a breath in and out. Lower your feet, your knees, push through table, downward dog. Let's take a breath in and out. And then step or walk to your hands. Okay, so a forward fold. It's common to feel pretty stuck. I do some days way more than others. So let's say your legs are straight and your back is really hunched. Let's bend the knees, sit in a pretend chair, and we're pulling our hips up, chest forward. So you can stay here or elbows on thighs. Or instead, you can start to practice straightening the legs a little bit. Try to keep your low back pretty long. Heart forward, fingertips to the floor. But you're welcome to tuck your chin. Feel free to rock slightly side to side. We're preparing for a low lunge. So hands come to the floor if they're not, and step your right foot back, a pretty long step, and put our knee down on the floor, so you might roll your mat or put something soft under that back. When you're ready, stabilize yourself, coming up onto your palms onto your front thigh. So instead of pulling forward, we're actually going to pull back and try to tilt the tailbone under. So belly suspenders are tight and you're squeezing your right bum. Gaze is forward. So you can stay with your hands on your thighs or bring your right arm up and left arm behind you. So we're working with some stability. And then begin to pull your tailbone under and reach to the left, look up slightly. So we're getting into some muscles that pull our hip flexors pretty tight and can cause some tightness all the way through our back. Breathe. Inhale and exhale. The baby twist. Reach up. I've got right hand, left thigh. Pull your hips back. Just turn your chest towards the left. Shoulders down. Okay, come back to center. Hands frame the front foot. We'll lift the back knee and we'll rock back. If you would like to, try and lift your front toes and then spring forward, left foot back. Lower your knee to the floor. Take your time. So now you can climb up, stabilize. Sometimes I'll rock forward and back a little bit, but for this emphasis, we're pulling our hips back, pulling tailbone under, squeezing back glute. Then left arm up, right arm behind, pull your tailbone forward so you're engaging and stabilizing your pelvis, and then reach towards the right. Inhale. And exhale. Reach up and twist. Inhale. And exhale. Come back to center. Frame the front foot. We'll tuck the back toes. Shift back. Maybe you're straightening the front leg a bit. And now we'll spring forward. Halfway lift if you want. And then heavy, heavy head. Stand up, reach up. Inhale. tee out your arms, bow forward, fingers to the floor. You can bend the knees, exhale. Reach your heart forward, tailbone back, inhale. Hands to the floor, exhale your way back into a plank and place your knees down. Inhale, straightens the back, exhale, lowers down. So you can come to a cobra pose, which just means you're hovering your chest, or you can move right into an up dog if you're feeling warm and ready. So I've got my toes pointed, my arms are straightening. If your shoulders are collapsing, we're bringing our shoulders back, shining the heart forward, and then you might start to lift the knees. Tighten your belly. We'll take this so slow, rolling over the toes, downward dog. Good. Inhale. And exhale. Lower your knees. You might put something soft under your knees or roll your mat to double. Rise to the knees, tuck toes. Lift up, shoulders back, reach back. Lift the heart, lift your gaze, hands to bum or clasp. Take a breath. Maybe you stay here, or you begin to reach back for your heels. Let's just take one more breath, and this is it. Rise up, let that land. Feel free to sit down on your heels and take yourself to a comfortable position. Settling yourself on your back, or maybe you stay seated, doesn't matter. So return to noticing the energy of the body and just how those really simple movements, short practice has shifted how you feel. To be honest, sometimes I'll realize how exhausted I am after exercise. So just pay attention. And a big piece in turning the page to refresh and reset are identifying the things that are draining us. So like layers, we'll start with the body. The body is our, it's a communicating with us. It's a way to, without judgment, that's why I'm hesitating here, to measure and to understand and inquire. So if our nervous system is just constantly drained because we're breathing shallow, because we're thinking anxious thoughts all the time, because we're not sleeping and there's that accumulation of exhaustion, our body is telling us that it's altering all kinds of hormones that essentially we end up just feeling blah. So we start to peel back and we start to inquire without judgment. We begin to identify the things that are draining us, and that's why the practice of presence is so powerful. Just even a short meditation resets, because we're taking our thoughts and we're separating and detangling our energy from following every single whim and thought. Follow breath. Then allow yourself to settle and soften and let go of the energy of the body that doesn't serve you. Tight jaw, shallow breath. Let's start to breathe in a regular fashion. Even that starts to shift our nervous system. So many things that we can do to help bring that kind of like teeter-totter back to balance. And then as we practice presence and meditation and breath, as we start to let go of the things that are not only not serving us, but there are so many things I've realized over my life that I, without knowing, I believe, and they're wrong. So notions that subconsciously we believe because they just were a part of our childhood, let's say, or unconsciously we believe just because everybody else does it, doesn't mean it's right. Let's start to peel those things back, and it's like taking burdens off and putting those burdens down. Get a little lighter. And then from there, begin to look at, okay, so what are my goals and why do I have those goals? Start to look at them from the lens of what provides balance and rest, nurture and love, not pressures of I'm not enough, or I'm not this shape or this size or this level of blank. And just go from there. start fresh. Every breath is fresh. Every moment is fresh. And then we begin to use that power to choose what we focus on. Choose what we're going to even think about this next moment. And begin to nurture that sense of curiosity. Most of the answers are here. Not here or not out there, they're here. This is how we resonate and compare. Start here. If you practice with me, thanks. So I wish for you to, with every single breath, be renewed, be restored, reset. And let's the RE replace the disconnected, distressed, dis-ease. That's divided. Let's renew, reset, restore. With so much love, blessing, gratitude. We're in this together. You be you.